are familiar with me, but I do want to talk to you a little bit about what my job is in the class and what your job is in the class. And it was very similar to what we did last year, but I don't think I really sat down and kind of explained that to you guys. In this class, we are learning your second, for most of you, your second. I don't know if any of the rest of you, know any other languages that are actually your second, but another language other than your first language, the same way that you learned your first language. How did you learn your first language?
Your parents. Parents taught me.
Okay, so your parents speaking to you. I thought I heard somebody. Go ahead, Carl.
Being immersed in it.
Okay, yes, all around you, your parents are saying it to you. Did they talk to you really fast when you were a baby? No. They talk really slow. Did they give you a textbook to learn English? Some of you maybe. Did they give you vocab lists? Like, here, learn these vocabulary. Did they, now this may be true for some of y'all, did they have PowerPoints about the grammar of the language? So we're going to learn ASL, or you've already started learning ASL in that fashion, but just explaining it a little bit to you why we do things the way we do it in this class. You're learning their second language the same way you learned your first language, and that is by being immersed in it, using the language. But I'm going to talk to you kind of like your parents talked to you when you were babies. Not like as if you are babies, but I'm talking slowly, and I'm using vocabulary that you hopefully already understand. And if you don't know the vocabulary, then I'm going to put it on the board, or I'm going to act it out, or I'm going to do my very, very best to make you understand. So basically, essentially, you learn any language by understanding messages in that language. And so my job is to make sure that the language I give you is understandable, that you always understand what I'm saying. So your job is to just pay attention to the messages I'm giving you and tell me when I'm not being clear. Because sometimes I may think I'm being super clear and you're all understanding because you were kind of nodding along, and then I realize, oh wait, half of them did not understand what I said because it's obvious, obvious by your response that you didn't. So it's super, super, super important that you tell me when you don't understand, okay? And that's something we have to work on this year, because I feel like that was something we lacked a little bit last year, is that y'all, some of you were really great at it, but some would not tell me when you don't understand, okay? So we're gonna come up with a signal or something like that that you can kind of give me when you don't understand. And I'll encourage that once we come up with that signal, that if you see somebody else giving the signal that they don't understand, do it along with them. That way, they're not doing it by themselves. That also cues me, like if I don't see them doing it, but then I see you doing it, then I start seeing other people doing it, I realize, okay, someone's not understanding what I'm saying. And so then I can back up and I can re-clarify, I can make sure that you're understanding. Because the key to learning a language is understanding the language that's given to you. So I'm pretty good at making it understandable. I've been doing this for a while, but I need to know when I'm not. And I need to know when I've gone too fast, okay? Or if I've said something. Now, that does not mean that you have to understand every single sign that I sign. You just have to understand the message. Does that make sense? You have to understand what I'm trying to tell you, but every single sign that I use to tell it, you don't necessarily have to know every single one, as long as you understood the message. Eventually you'll understand what each one were, but as long as you understand the message altogether. So, what's my job? Somebody.
Teach me ASL.
Right? How am I gonna do it though? What's my responsibility in the class?
To communicate in a way that we understand.
Exactly. So I am to use ASL with you guys that you understand. Okay? Alright, so what's y'all's job?
Learn.
Tell me when you don't understand. What were you gonna say, Trinity?
Learn ASL.
How though? How are you going to
Understand.
what's your responsibility?
Understand.
Pay attention, listen or watch with the intent to understand. Okay? guys, all your responsibility is to pay attention to what I'm saying and tell me when you don't understand, okay? And so if you are paying attention and really listening or watching with the intent to understand, like trying to understand what I'm saying, then, what'd you say?
I said, we've got wheels on.
I got a wheel to do that. Got new wheels. Yeah, if you are trying to understand the messages, you know, I can sign to you all day long in comprehensible ASL, and if you're not paying, not paying attention or not trying to understand me, then you won't learn anything either, right? So that's super important. Support the flow of language. That means that I need you to be a part of the conversation. So when I say something to you, like, I expect that you respond back to me in the language, okay? That does not mean you have to copy everything I'm signing. You don't have to do that. But you do need to respond. If I ask a question, I expect everybody to answer together. That way it kind of also clues me in, like if I see a few people who are not answering, then maybe they didn't understand. So then I know I need to re-clarify, right? So if you're not answering back, then I don't know. So that's like doing your part of the the conversation. You know, we really just do a lot of conversations and stories in here to learn the language. And if I'm not getting that feedback from you, it's hard to know. Of course, if one person is signing, you look at that person. That includes your classmates. So if they're saying something, you should look towards them to see the message. Tell me when you're unclear. And then, of course, we talked about having nothing out unless I've told you. And then just, it's scary sometimes learning a new language. So you just kind of have to step out of your, comfort zone a little bit, but be brave and be kind to everyone, because everyone is everybody in here is going to make mistakes. I mean, I make mistakes every single day in here too. So you guys all are going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. Just be kind when we make mistakes. Be kind that you are not, that you are supporting everyone else in here who's trying to learn as well. Okay? So, my job, give you a bunch of ASL that you can understand. Your job is just to listen, pay attention, and take it in and let me know when you don't understand. Alright, who wants to help me? Who wants to tell me something that was kind of a gesture or not a non-verbal way to let me know when you don't understand? We'll all use the same kind of thing. Just a sign for understand is an option. Anybody else have another suggestion? It's definitely possible. Something that maybe is a little less conspicuous.
So then you can see us.
Yeah, definitely, but some people may not feel comfortable saying, I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like a little, not as noticeable maybe. That I will notice it, but not like the entire class will be like, oh, you know what I mean? But that's good, because you do want to for everybody to see, once you see it, I do want you guys to do it along with you. What was your suggestion? Okay? So just kind of a need, I need to know what you're saying. Okay? Any other suggestions?
Your facial expressions, like your eyebrows that go down.
Yes, definitely. So I'm watching that anyway. But I'll be honest, guys, sometimes your facial expressions, I can definitely tell when you don't understand or when you don't, and I do try to watch for that. But y'all, when I was in college, there was a professor I had that when I would watch and then somebody signing an ASL where I had to voice interpret, I had to practice saying out loud what they were saying, I would always do this. And it wasn't that I didn't understand, it was that I was just really focusing on understanding what I'm trying. I was really watching with the intent to understand, but my face looked like I was lost. So all the words that were coming out of my mouth when I was correct, not all of them, but most of them were correct, but my face said something completely opposite. So sometimes our faces don't match what we actually, feel. But I do watch for that already. Okay, alright, so we have a couple of suggestions. We have this, we have this, and then we have this. Just kind of small. Alright, so I kind of think what do you guys think? Who wants to do this? Sorry, Carolyn. Alright, who wants to do, this? Yeah, okay. And who wants to do this? Okay, that's fine, and you could still do this, like, I don't understand, cause that's actually the language, and you're actually using the language to communicate to me that you don't understand. So it's still okay to do that for sure, like, I don't understand. That's just actually using language. But if you don't want to sign, I don't understand, then you can just use a small gesture of like me. And then again, if you see somebody else doing that, then just you'll start doing it along with them so that they're not the only one, and then also it'll help me see, more people doing it. Okay? Alright. Okay, so we are going to, what time do we get out here now? 45. Alright, so this is the time of the class period. And for you guys, because you already know a lot of language and you're at higher up level than my level ones, a lot of our class period will be immersed in the language. So there won't be, a lot of times that I will be speaking in English except for checking for comprehension and things like that. So even the beginning of the class period, a lot of times will be voices off, but it could be that I'm speaking English too. But this is the time of the class period that will definitely transition into the target language, which is ASL for you guys. The language the target that you're wanting to learn, okay? So I thought it would be fun to have some sort of way to like transition us into the language. So what's something that somebody can do or say that would kind of get us all cued into transitioning into the language? I can just count down like I did last year, if that's what you prefer. Or I can have one of you guys, even better, have one of you guys count down. Or you can make a noise, or you can say something. No volunteers, huh? First day of school. Alright, fine, we'll just count then. Because we're transitioning now into ASL, so that means voices off. Now, I will tell you, in the syllabus, I did, and I'll give you one of these in a few minutes, a new procedure I have set up that if I sign to you in ASL, you must respond to me in ASL. If I speak to you in English, you may respond in English or ASL. Okay? If I point to something in English, okay, like an English question, then you can respond in English. Okay, unless I'm saying, what's the sign for this? If you absolutely feel like when we have transitioned into the target language that you need to use English and speak, then you have to ask first, English please, and then I will give you permission to speak. So how do you sign English please? English? English? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do I say?
Welcome.
I saying?
Database board. And
Okay, turn and talk to somebody near you about what we just talked about. Make sure you ask for clarification if there's anything that was discussed that you didn't understand.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
What's this sign?
During,
Okay.
so I said during summer, or like the word while I was. Oh, one more. So this is more, and then one, and then if you put it together, it's one more. Good question. See, sometimes I use things like that, and I'm like, I don't know if they've ever seen that before, but I don't remember. You have to let me know. translation. So you guys remember last year when we would watch a video back where I had signed some sentences about our discussion, and you are going to translate it all together. So everybody's saying it together. I'm gonna try to slow it down. Let's see if we can slow it down. Alright, you ready? Alright, remember, you all have to say it together. If you're not all saying it together, what we're gonna do?
Start over.
Ready?
Whoa.
I did it too fast, sorry. I was speeding it up, not slowing it down. There we go. Hey, y'all are ASL too now. Y'all supposed to understand that. Sorry. Go back now. Go back. Don't be starting that already. Day one, come on. Let's hope. Maybe I can't start it over at all. Don't mind me. Alright, I'm just gonna come back here and do it, cause I don't really need to be up there to do it right. Alright, here we go. Alright, another thing I'm gonna actually do, I'm gonna make this smaller. No. Forget it. We'll try it tomorrow. Alright, ready? Good. Okay, so I noticed that when you guys, I signed this sign twice, and y'all said two different things, but you were all right, like, you didn't do anything wrong, but why did you say two different things for this sign?
The way you used it in the sentence.
Yeah, so you all said no. You said the word no in the first time, instead. So, no student, but this sign really means none, right? It means none. But it's awesome that you realize that in English, you'd probably say no, not none. You wouldn't say none students, you'd say no students. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about trying to sign a sentence, and you think, oh, I'm trying to say I have no children, or I have no classes today, or whatever, okay? Then it wouldn't be no, it would be no, right? Awesome. Okay? Alright, here we go. Ready? Everybody looking at the board.
During June, 5 students have birthdays.
sentence, but
Okay.
when you said, today, students don't have a birthday, why didn't you ask that like as a question?
Okay, so let's get to that part. You mean because I raised my eyebrows when I signed today?
Yeah, I thought you meant like, today students have birthday? Like if you were asking us.
Right, yeah, so it was like a rhetorical question. Good. Okay, let me get to it. Is this it? Right, it's kind of like a rhetorical question. Actually, usually a rhetorical question more is like a WH question, like a who, what, when, where. For that, it's more like a topic comment. So I say, today students have birthdays, and then this comment was that none of them did.